Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. We're going to get an update now on a story that we've been following for a long time, months and months, the saga with Braidy Industries and the aluminum mill being built in Ashland. We'd like to welcome in a reporter with the Ashland Daily Independent, Henry Colbyhouse, to talk about it. Henry, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, so we know now that Craig Bouchard is no longer part of Braidy Industries or the development. He was the former CEO. Talk to me about how all of that kind of went down.
So it's our understanding in late January, the board of directors called a meeting, a late night meeting, and at that meeting they basically threw Bouchard out. And from there, of course, litigation ensued in the court of Delaware, and they finally reached a settlement in that. And part of that settlement is him exiting. That's all that has been publicly disclosed at this time. We have no clue of what other terms of the settlements are at this time because it was settled outside of court. So.
Well, and they did say he's no longer representing the company on any level, but he did at the time beforehand own about 20% of the shares of stock in the company.
Yes, ma'am. And that was a point that I asked about when the settlement was announced, and I received no answer on that. But that's definitely something we've been keeping an eye on.
So what are the steps now moving forward? Are people expecting this to still happen?
I would say, just based off of what we've heard from readers and what we've heard from, various sources, I mean, things are up in the air right now. It's an uncertain time, but we plan on speaking with Charles Price, the chairman of the board of directors. He's supposedly taking the company in a new direction there, and we're going to be, hopefully be able to sit down with him towards the end of the month to find out what's happening.
So it was projected to bring in about 1,000 jobs to the area. How much do you all need this to happen there?
Well, anybody who knows Eastern Kentucky knows that especially Ashland area, has been hit hard over the years through deindustrialization of the steel economy and for the coal mines drying up, and definitely a lot of people are desperate for good work, good paying work, and I think a lot of people have a lot of hope for this project. But the mill was supposed to be erected 2020, and 2020's come, and it's just a big empty field with a fence around it at this point. So needless to say, there's a lot of folks are, a little concerned about that.
Is there a sense of maybe distrust or mistrust with Braidy Industries now?
I say when we published the findings in that report that was contained in the Court of Delaware, where it was alleged that Mr. Bouchard had misled the board of directors, the public, and a host of other folks. We definitely received a lot of feedback that there does seem to be a little bit of distrust, but the word on the street from talking to different people, that trust was already starting to become a little shaky.
Why do you think he did mislead people? It seemed to me in my limited dealings with him that he did desperately want to get this built.
I myself has not been able to speak with Mr. Bouchard personally, but I know from speaking with folks that have reported on him for a lot longer than I have that, he seemed like this was a dream of his, and, it's hard to read into a man's heart, but it seems like this was something that he exactly, he wanted to do, so I think no doubt about it that this was a project that he believed in and that a lot of other people have believed in.
Henry Colbyhouse, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your insights. We'll tap into them as this project moves forward, hopefully. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Much more Hey Kentucky right after this.